Hour 3. Boy, Mark Sanchez was good. Live in Los Angeles, this is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Fox Sports Radio, right here in FS1. A pleasure to have you in today. Joy Taylor is joining us. We had Frank Vogel today. How great is that? We had Greg Cosell today. Mark Sanchez, Masked Singer. I'll tell you, our Dave, our booker, has been doing good work here.
Nailing it. Do you have any secret talents? You can do a little magic.
A little magic.
That's not really secret. We know
No,
that.
it's not, yeah.
If you follow Colin on Instagram.
You know, I sometimes I'm disciplined and sometimes I'm not. I have wanted to learn how to play the piano.
Oh, I took piano lessons for years.
I've thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if I could sit down and play the piano and occasionally just, life of the party kind of thing? And But just sit there, just like therapeutic. Just sit down. And
do you have any musical talents?
None.
Yeah, so I took voice lessons, guitar lessons, and piano lessons for a long time. And I just have no...
Can you sing it all?
I did in church, like I did when I was younger.
You can sing?
No. When I was little, like
we should cut a song on this show. I've done a couple songs.
I've done some songs too. They're not great. I cannot. I'm
minor. I'm not gonna lie. I have kind of a Bryan Adams thing going on. Because
oh yeah, you have done. I forgot about that. Which we have a couple of your songs. Yeah, we usually like an Eli Manning song.
No,
yeah,
whatever. Terrible. Good stuff today. All-Pro Cam Jordan of the Saints. That win on Monday was big for them.
Yeah,
they came from behind and won that game. That was big for the Saints because I was starting to I was done. I wasn't even going to mail and vote the Saints. Like they weren't on the ballot for me. They weren't even close. But now you're like, okay, all right, they're coming back. They look good. My soup and sweater ratings for NFL games this weekend. Soup and sweater means it's getting fall weather. We start judging the games now, 1 through 5. What is soup and sweater weather means? I'm making a big, Ann is soup. I'm sitting down for 5 hours and watching football games. But first, the Cowboys now face Arizona. That's coming up this weekend. It's going to be a very interesting football game, right? And everybody thinks Dallas is in big trouble with Andy Dalton replacing Dak Prescott. I want to remind you that what your replacements do will often define you when you don't go to work. So when Drew Brees got hurt last year, Teddy Bridgewater came in, went 5-0. What did it do? It got Teddy Bridgewater a franchise quarterback contract. And it also affirmed that Drew Brees and Teddy Bridgewater, it's not much of a gap. And it turned out that Teddy's now winning and Drew's not winning anymore in New Orleans with a better roster. When Cam Newton missed the Kansas City game this year, didn't play. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. That's a bad football team without Cam Newton. So Brees not playing probably hurt his status. Cam not playing totally elevated his status. So what will it do for Dak Prescott? The feeling is Andy Dalton. We've seen this act before. It's not very good. Put this old dude to rest. This is, he'll play a couple games. And in fact, Patrick Peterson, Arizona, great player, saying, hey, man, we just want to force this cat to throw the ball this weekend.
Stop the run. We definitely got to stop the run and force, not saying that he can't do it, but, we have to force Andy Dalton to beat us. We feel if you take the ball out of Ezekiel Elliott's hands, there's more opportunities for bad things to happen when the ball is in the air.
That's interesting. If I asked you, I'm going to throw this out there. Dak and Dalton, which one has had the season with the most touchdown passes? Well, that would be obvious. That would be Andy Dalton, 33, in dysfunctional Cincinnati with a defensive coach. All right, which guy has had the most back-to-back double-digit win seasons? Well, Dak's never had that. That would be Andy Dalton, 4 seasons in a row. And by the way, he was in a division with Pittsburgh, always competent, and Baltimore, usually competent. Everybody know that Andy Dalton's 32. No major history of injuries. He chose Texas because he's from there. He's from Katy, Texas. Andy Dalton's not a stiff. You watched last week, right? You watched that last drive, and you're like, your expectations of Andy Dalton are so low. And all of a sudden, you watch that drive, and it's like, I'm not saying he's as mobile is Dak, but you watch the tape. Look at the film. Look at these throws. That's a big boy NFL throw. Watch this throw. Seems to me that's a big boy NFL throw. He's 32. The Cowboys' schedule now is the weakest in the league for the next few weeks. Arizona, then it's Washington, beat up Philadelphia, face Pittsburgh, then they get a bye. But then it's a lot of Washington and Cincinnati, and 49ers can't get their act together, and home against Philadelphia and close the season out. Andy Dalton, when he was in Cincinnati, equally dysfunctional to Dallas, with a defensive coach, a conservative coach. We call Mike McCarthy a conservative coach. But when Andy was in that division 6-7 years ago and they had a bunch of weapons, he wasn't asked to carry the franchise. He was asked to be a distributor. He kept winning the division. So Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Brees not playing didn't do him any favors. Helped Teddy Bridgewater. Cam not playing did him huge favors. I just want to remind you, the first 4 years in the NFL, Dak and Andy Dalton, we threw the numbers out. It's the same dude. Now, I think I'd take Dak over Dalton. And I've, over the years, been much tougher on Dalton than Dak because they called him the Red Rifle, and I'm like, he doesn't deserve a nickname. Let's get off the Red Rifle nonsense. But the idea there's this massive gap, there really isn't. Dalton was drafted higher. Dalton had a very productive college career. Dalton has had more double-digit win seasons. Dalton's had the more touchdown passes in one season. And he is a distributor. He's a distributor, and this team is built, frankly, for somebody who's a distributor. So it's interesting. Arizona's takeaway this weekend is just force Andy Dalton to throw. That's actually, when he had good weapons, the best thing he did and the hardest way to beat him. All right, so Alabama coach Nick Saban is going to miss the game this weekend against Georgia. It's by far and away the best game of the weekend. It's probably going to be the best college football game this season. It's really, really good, right? It's going to be on a short list of great games. So Nick Saban's got COVID. He came out and he said, listen, protect. We don't know how we got it. We wear masks. We socially distance. He was very responsible, but they got it. Here's what's remarkable. The average NFL star player is not worth a point. The average college football player is not worth half a point. Nick Saban, by just not being in the stadium Saturday, it changed the line 2.5 points. Now, I want you to think about this. The assistant that will take it over is Steve Sarkisian. He has coached 2 major programs, has a winning record, has won bowl games. Alabama's also had the same system in for 10, 12 years. This is not a new system. And because he can't be there just for the game, it almost changes it by a field goal. The gap between Nick Saban now and the second best college coach, and I'll get to that in a second. I mean, he's literally, would this happen with any other coach? He had Zoom meetings this week. He was coaching them this week on Zoom. The system's installed. Sark's been there for years. This is unbelievable that it's almost a field goal difference. And it's funny. One of the things I always liked about Saban, there's a sense that he's rigid. But the truth is, he's really not. He's evolved his offense every year. Every year. He's made the life for his student athletes really amazing. They really support their kids academically. They support them emotionally. I was talking to a therapist yesterday about this in football. Saban offers layers and layers and layers of therapists, life coach, life strategists. Alabama football players go on to very productive lives. He's never had an NCAA violation of note. Very few of his kids get into trouble. He's lost 12 coordinators. That's what I counted this morning. Now, think about that. When Pete Carroll and Mac Brown at USC and Texas, legendary programs, when they started losing coordinators, the programs were never the same. Urban Meyer's an amazing coach. When he lost Charlie Strong, and I think like a Dan Mullen, Florida never felt the same. Nick Saban's lost 12 coordinators. Hasn't missed a beat. No NCAA stuff. Mostly good kids go on to productive lives. He keeps evolving offensively. He's just missing the game this week. Just the game. He's there on Zoom meetings. The offense is installed. And the Fox bet, those guys are like, oh, it's like 3 points. That's 2.5 points. The only coach in my lifetime that really is close to him, and this is somebody I have a lot of respect for because I know Nick and I like Nick a lot, is Tom Osborne. His last 5 years at Nebraska, he went 60-3. And his last year, 13-0, walk-off, one of the great teams of all time. He's, to me, the second best coach in the history of college football. And one of the reasons is, like Nick Saban, he really evolved. Woody Hayes became kind of a relic. Joe Paul was kind of a relic. Some of these guys, like, and people I like Bobby Bowden, they're not really running the program. They show up and sign 5 or 6 kids. They show up to the house. Mom and dad like them. But the coordinators are running the offense. The coordinators are running recruiting. The coordinators are running the program. Nick Saban is like 66 years old because he's just not going to be at the game. Changes the spread significantly. It's like this guy is just separated. I mean, to me, it's Saban, it's Osborne, probably Bear Bryant, and then you can argue over the last one. But I was shocked. But he has a head coach as an assistant who has won bowl games and won at 2 programs. He's got a defensive system that's been in forever. He's also not only lost coordinators, they often go get jobs in his conference, take all his secrets, and coach against him. And they're still there. I mean, can you imagine? You work at a company, it could be Coke. You lose many executives. They go over to the other place. They go up against you. They know all your trade secrets at Pepsi. You'd be a struggle, right? Like, oh, my gosh. Nick's coaching against his former assistants every other weekend. No dip in the quality of the program. It really is remarkable. I've watched these great programs. Florida, Texas, USC, Nebraska. They lose a top coordinator or 2, and the program just goes down. He's lost 11 or 12. I lost count this morning. I think he's had 7 offensive coordinators. And he's coaching against Lane, and he's coaching against Kirby Smart, and he's coaching against the kid at Tennessee. Every weekend he faces somebody that has all his trade secrets. Remarkable. Wish Coach well. Cam Jordan of the Saints, I thought their Monday win absolutely meant something. It was a come-from-behind win. They struggled early. They were the better team late. And it's the kind of win in that division now with Carolina's better than we think and Tampa Bay's the real deal. So that's going to be a dogfight starting officially now. Cam Jordan joins us next. Are you okay feeling older, having less energy, less drive? Yeah, neither am I. That's why I exercise. I try to eat mostly right and take M-Drive every morning, a supplement for driven men. Stay energized and stay strong. Try not to let age completely define you. Check it out, mdriveformen.com. It's a complex blend of natural herbs and vitamins, nutrients, helps you get back your drive, right? They're so confident it'll work. They offer a 60-day money-back guarantee, created by a scientist with over 40 years of experience. The site, again, is mdriveformen.com. Rite Aid, Walgreens, and Vitamin Shop, prominently displayed. If you just want to feel a little more energy, you're getting to be 45, 50, you work out, you try to eat right, but you need just something else. Check it out. The only everyday supplement for driven men. Refine your prime with M-Drive.